Presentation of annual activity reports and audited financial statements by the Gambia Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, GCCPC, and any other business. Can any honorable member move that we adopt the agenda with or without amendment? It has been moved. Seconder. Honorable Seconder. Yeah, it has been moved and seconded that we adopt the agenda for today's meeting without amendment. Those in favor, please say aye. And those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. Therefore, the agenda stands adopted. Before we proceed with the next agenda item, already we have done the first one, the prayers. Can we introduce ourselves? To begin with, my humble self, I'm Alhaji Asdabo, the chairperson of the committee. And I will see, lie. GCCPC.
Yasin Senghor, the board chairperson.
Amadou Cissé, the executive secretary.
Yaya Idaba, director of finance and admin.
Basir Njai, director of consumer protection.
Babukar Cissé, director of competition.
Augustus from Junior, representing external auditors. Augustus from.
Alhaji Sambu, director of legal and enforcement. GCCPC.
Sarah. Thank you very much for the introduction. We will now proceed with the main agenda item, that's the various presentations. Before us, the activities we have 2018, 19, 20, and 21. If I may ask, whether you have the 2016 and 2017 been treated by the previous committee?
Yes, it has already been treated.
Or they've been treated? Okay. That means we are to get the 2018, 19, 20, and 21.
Yes, Honorable.
Thank you very much. At this juncture, we must commend you for completing your reports up to 2021. Congratulations.
We're grateful. Thank you.
You may proceed. We may proceed now. The presentation, the chairperson of the board will lead us in the presentation. We'll begin with the activity reports. I don't know if we can do it this way. We have seen in some of the reports they are joined. Yes. Yeah, that's what I'm coming to. Yeah, that's what I'm coming to. I can see that some of the reports they are joined. They are consolidated reports. So if you can do the presentation of the joint presentation from 2018 to 2021, and in doing so, we do it in summary form, since we have the copies with us. The same will apply to the financial statements. From 2018 to 2021, you can do the joint presentation, and both presentations should be in summary form. So over to you, Madam Chairperson.
Thank you very much. Honorable Chairperson of the Public Enterprises Committee, the honorable members of the PEC Committee, the honorable National Assembly members here present. Sorry, FPAC, apologies. The representative of the Auditor General and subject matter specialists, members of the board of the Competition Commission, and distinguished ladies and gentlemen. May I begin on behalf of the commissioners and management of GCCPC by thanking this august body for giving us the privilege and opportunity to present the 2018 to 2021 financial and activity reports of GCCPC. The reports we present today shall highlight the financial as well as the operational activities of GCCPC for the financial years ended up to 31st of December 2021. In fulfillment of the Commission's legal, constitutional, and statutory requirements enshrined in the Constitution of the Republic of the Gambia, 1997, the Competition Act 2007, the Consumer Protection Act 2014, and the Essential Commodities Act 2015. The Gambia Competition and Consumer Protection Commission is an independent statutory public institution with a dual mandate to protect the consumers and to promote and enforce competition in all sectors of the Gambian economy. The primary objective of the Competition Act is to promote and maintain competition in the Gambia by curbing practices that have an appreciably adverse effect on competition. This is done by creating a level playing field within which businesses can thrive in a liberal and competitive market in which consumer rights are recognized, upheld, and protected. The Consumer Protection Act 2014, on the other hand, aims to protect consumers from unfair, deceptive, or fraudulent practices in the marketplace. The Commission also enforces the Essential Commodities Act 2015 with a view to ensuring the affordability and availability of essential commodities. In carrying out its mandate, the GCCPC is led by at the governance, strategic, and decision-making level by a board of governors comprised of 5 commissioners appointed by the President. The Commission is supported by a secretariat headed by the Executive Secretary with responsibility for the day-to-day administration of the GCCPC and the implementation of the strategic and policy decisions of the Commission. During the years under review, the Board of Commissioners met at least quarterly to deliberate on governance matters and at times monthly to deliberate on matters within the technical mandate of the Commission, to deliberate on market studies, and take decisions on matters presented to the Commission for adjudication. Our work from 2018 to 2021 was based largely on the GCCPC strategic plan, which was developed by the Commission and themed Enforcement for Impact. The goal of the plan is to shift more focus to enforcement in order to make markets more competitive and enhance the welfare of consumers, especially the vulnerable. The plan is based on the following strategic themes. Strategic theme 1 is enforcement and promotion of the Competition Act 2007. Strategic theme 2 is the administration and promotion of the Consumer Protection Act 2014. Strategic theme 3 is advocacy and awareness creation and empowerment. Strategic theme 4 is the mobilization and optimal utilization of financial resources. And strategic theme 5 is infrastructure and human capital development. I will now proceed to give a brief synopsis of some of the highlights for the period under review. In the area of competition, a total of 2 market studies were conducted, which included the African Competition Forum Pharmaceutical Market Study and the AFC Cross-Market Study on the airline industry. The Commission also conducted 5 investigations in the various sectors of the economy, which includes bread, flour, pharmaceutical, onion, and cement. Market inquiries were also conducted in the groundnut, cement, and essential commodities markets. The Commission also issued a policy advisory to the Ministry of Health on the pharmaceutical sector. The Commission registered a total of 334 cases in respect of consumer protection. The Commission registered a total of 334 cases in 2020. 99 cases representing 30% of the total registered cases were resolved through ADR, and 64 of the cases, which represented 19%, were withdrawn and settled after the Commission's intervention prior to ADR. 24 cases were withdrawn, which represent 7% of the cases, as most of the complainants decided not to go to court. 128 of the cases, which represented 38%, were transferred to the tribunal. 16 of the cases, which represents 5%, were closed as some complainants couldn't provide the contact details of the respondents for a period of 2 weeks. 2 cases, which represented 1%, were referred to sector regulators, and 1 case was frivolous as it had no merit. In 2021, the Commission registered 225 cases. 112 cases, representing 50% of the total registered number of cases, were resolved through ADR, and 23 of the cases, which represented 10%, were withdrawn and settled after the Commission's intervention prior to ADR. It shows that a total of 60% of the Commission's cases have been resolved by the Commission. 4 of the cases were withdrawn, which represents 2% of the cases, as most of those complainants declined to go to court. 67 of the cases, which represented 30%, were transferred to the Legal and Enforcement Department of the Commission. 10 of the cases, which represented 4%, were closed because the complainants couldn't provide the contact details of the respondents for a period of 2 weeks. 3 cases, which represented 1%, were referred to sector regulators. The Commission completed a market study in the real estate industry and developed a TOR for study on the state of consumer protection in the food industry. The Commission collaborated with different sector regulators in the year under review. It continued its collaboration with the Gambia Police Force by visiting 43 police stations throughout the West Coast region to sensitize them on the Commission's mandate and share contacts of the Commission along with the complainant's fee schedule, which shall be displayed visibly at all stations visited. The Commission also held discussions with the Gambia Standards Bureau, the Weights and Measures Bureau, in an effort to conduct investigations in key sectors. The Commission also continues to strengthen collaboration with the consumer associations. Meetings were held with the Consumer Protection Consortium to discuss consumer complaints and concerns relating to telecommunications, transport, and essential commodities sectors. The Commission is currently working on drafting its consumer protection complaint handling procedures. Under the theme of advocacy, the Commission embarked on an ambitious advocacy strategy to complement its enforcement efforts in the period under review. The Commission, upon securing funding from the UNDP Entrepreneurship Support Project, hosted a radio program on West Coast Radio. The weekly program, which airs every Thursday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., and it's geared towards raising an awareness on the Commission's mandates. It also gives platform to sector regulators to discuss competition and consumer protection concerns in their regulated sector. The Commission also embarked on a series of training programs with ministries, departments, and agencies, such as the Department of Strategic Policy and Delivery and the Ministry of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment, in a bid to mainstream competition and consumer protection issues into government policies and programs. GCCPC's face-to-face advocacy and awareness creation activities stalled in the third quarter due to the COVID-19 pandemic. However, in the years under review, the Commission forged ahead with sensitizing the populace on practices that continue to inhibit consumer welfare and competitive markets. The pandemic opened a floodgate of a myriad of unfair market practices and consumer rights abuses. In order to check this looming crisis, the Commission continued to use appropriate platforms to conduct some of its advocacy programs. Now we talk about the challenges faced by the Commission. The GCCPC is not immune to the financial constraints that plagues all the institutions. The periods under review was no exception. Implementation of the mandate of the Commission requires tremendous human and financial resources. Furthermore, investigation of competition and consumer protection matters and market studies are very resource intensive. The annual budget of the Commission continues to suffer from huge cuts. Despite the resource constraints and the challenges highlighted, the GCCPC continues to deliver on its mandate. We therefore wish to appeal to this august body to prevail to the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs to give GCCPC the necessary financial support needed to implement our very important mandate. There is a lack of consumer protection tribunals in the administrative regions, as currently there is only one consumer protection tribunal, and it is housed at the Bundung Magistrates Court. This has made it difficult to adequately protect vulnerable consumers in the rural areas, which is a concern to the Commission. In addition, the magistrate of the court also hears other cases apart from consumer protection cases, which affects the rate at which consumer cases are being adjudicated, hence resulting to backlog of cases at the tribunal. It is important to have a specialized tribunal in which the magistrate shall only hear consumer cases to fast-track the cases and reduce the turnaround time. If not, it will discourage consumers from taking cases to tribunal. The Commission also experienced limited cooperation from sector regulators and government ministries and agencies in supplying data and information to the Commission. The Commission found it difficult to obtain data from these sources to carry out studies, enquiries, and investigations. There is also limited or no consultation by MDAs when introducing policies that can affect competition and consumer welfare. The Commission is mandated by Section 15, subsection 1 of the Competition Act to issue policy advisory on any action taken or proposed to be taken by MDAs that can affect competition and consumer protection. But in most instances, the Commission only know about the policies when they are already introduced or are being implemented. Honorable Chairman of the Financial FPEC, Honorable members of the FPEC Committee, Honorable National Assembly members here present, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I commend the reports for 2018 to 2021 for your review and trust that any recommendation and feedback from this august body would be taken in good faith and duly implemented by the commissioners and management of the GCCPC. With your kind permission, I wish to commend once again the Board of Commissioners, the management team and staff for their hard work, dedication and commitment over the past 4 years. My appreciation also goes out to our key partners and stakeholders who continue to play a pivotal role in building and developing the capacity of the Commission. I am confident that with the anticipated increased support and cooperation of National Assembly, government and our domestic and international partners and stakeholders in the coming fiscal year, the planned activities of the Commission will be accomplished. Honorable Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for your attention and look forward to fruitful deliberations to move the Commission forward.
Much. Yeah, if you can get the copy for us so that we can share it among the members.
We will do so.
Okay. At this juncture, can we invite the management to give us the rundown of the activity reports for 2018 up to 2021?
Okay.
Also in summary form.
Okay. Thank you very much. We have we have 3 mandates: competition, consumer protection, and essential commodities. But the way we do our work is either enforcement, market studies, policy advice, and advocacy. So what I'll be reporting will be on those areas. She highlighted some of the studies that we've done, but in summary form, I'll just give you the policy advice that we've issued. I mean, this is not exhaustive because the point I'm trying to make is, for example, last year at the tribunal alone, at the commission, we received over 220 cases. This year we are almost going to receive about 300 cases. So if I was to go through each and every one of them, we'll be here the whole day. So I'll just give you the key sector interventions that we've done. So for policy advice, we've issued one on, we've done an airline market study. And we are members of what we call the ACF, the African Competition Forum. And it's the network of all competition agencies in Africa. I'm a member of the steering committee. So what we do is we choose sectors and we do sector studies, across the ACF to make it more competitive. So we did one with the for the airline sector to make as you know, we're having such issues in the Gambia. because air access is always a problem. So we've done that. The report is ready, and it's over 600 pages. But I'll be more than happy to, when I come on Monday, give you a copy so that you will get through the recommendation. Anyway, what I'm saying is we've looked at the competition issues that affected the whole airline sector, and we've made recommendation in line with best practice, and we've considered what others are doing in other regions. But like I said, it's sort of 400 pages, but I'll be more than happy to give you a copy for your consumption. We did a groundnut market inquiry about 2 years ago. There was a press release from, what is it? I can never pronounce that name. The Minister of Agriculture and GGC food marketing process. The food marketing process. Anyway, the whole gist was that farmers should sell their groundnuts to them. So we did a policy advice, we did a study, and we thought that was very anti-competitive. They cannot be a regulator, at the same time be a player. So we've done a very comprehensive report on that with the farmers and what they stand to gain. That was submitted to the Ministry of Agriculture, and it's being implemented now as we speak. Again, it's bulky, but we'll give you the whole report for your consumption. The cement, if you remember 2 years ago, the prices of cement went as high as $400, over $400 is a bag. So we did a cement market inquiry, and again, it's the report is ready, but we also made some interventions. And right now, the price of cement is around 300, at most 300. So we recommended a lot of things, and one of the things is that there was an embargo on imported bag cement into the country. So we did a study to inform government that the plants that they have here cannot meet the demand for cement in the Gambia. So there is no need to protect them. And that has been adhered to. So the protection was lifted. There is enough competition in the sector. Now that's responsible for the drop in price. But again, it's a very bulky report with a lot of figures, but we'll be more than happy to share with you. We did the same thing in the flour market. We have 2 flour companies, Nessim and GMC. So there's an embargo on, you cannot import, there's no embargo, but it's prohibitive to import flour because the duty element is very, very high. But we've done an in-depth study into this whole thing, and we've also realized that not only is that the issue, but the distribution arrangements that are in place between these 2 companies and FUTA is making it more expensive and very difficult for people to access that. So we've issued a policy advice on that. And again, we conducted a hearing, they called them to a hearing in line with our act. It's again, we can make that document. The reason I'm saying this, we've done a lot of things. So I'm also guiding you, if you want me to give you more information, I'll be more than happy to bring those documents, talk about it, and leave it with you for your consumption. Again, we've done that. We also, just recently, we had an issue with clearing agents. There was a complaint that the whole process of registering them is not competitive enough. So we work with GRA and ports and everything. So we've made recommendations, and it's now been adhered to, and it's now more competitive again than before. We did a pharmaceutical policy advice, believe it or not, on these current issues that are going on, especially the conflict of interest issues that we've sent. We did an in-depth study into that. The conflict of interest that exists at the MCA and at the Pharmacy Council. So we developed a policy advice. We've sent it to them and made some recommendations. Again, but since it's now the issue in town, we can also share with you our observations on that, so that when you interact with them, you can raise some of the issues. But we've done that. We've done a whole policy advice in the pharmaceutical sector. But we'll be more than happy to share that with you. Consumer complaints, like I said, we deal with over 220 cases in a year. So it will be very difficult for me to go through each and every one of them, but we'll give you a table of the cases that we've done. We also did a real estate study, because we have a lot of complaints about real estate market. So we did a joint study with work with local government, the Lands Commission, and all the stakeholders, and we've made recommendations on how to make it more consumer oriented. Again, that report is ready. We can share it with you. We've launched investigations into the onions and potato market. So because what we realize is that during Ramadan and feast times, there are always issues with onions and potatoes, issue of hoarding and increasing prices. She mentioned some of our training programs and advocacy programs. We have a weekly radio program with West Coast, the Consumer Protection Hour, that we've been having for the past 5 years. So that we educate the public on what we do. But in addition to that, we go to MDAs, ministries, and train them on the act. So we've engaged virtually all the stakeholders on the time. We have a program on that, so we make sure that everybody is up to speed with what we do, especially the Gambia Police Force, because we've most of the cases that they handle can easily be dispensed at the tribunal, and they've been very cooperative. In fact, too cooperative, because every time you go there, they're like, no, just go to GCC. They'll deal with it. She mentioned the issues we're having with resources. It will interest you to know that we receive less than 70% of what is allocated to us every year, less than 70%. And we have you'll see it if you look at our accounts. So most of what we do is not funded by government. It's funded by donor partners. In fact, anyway, it's funded by UNDP, and so that's how we survive. That's why we can continue to do what we do. But if we were to just depend on government and government alone, there will be no competition commission. And we are a commission with 3 mandates: competition, consumer protection, and essential commodities. And the chair is a lawyer, and we have a tribunal. And believe you me, it's not cheap to maintain and run a tribunal on a daily basis. That in a nutshell is what I want to add to what she said. But like I said, we've done a lot of work. These are just highlights, and I would rather, when you perish, you ask me questions, but we'll also be more than happy to give you a stack of documents on studies and advice that we've issued, which you'll find useful in the future when such issues come up. With your permission, I want to stop there. So that's it.
Yes, we're fine. That's okay. That's okay for the activity reports.
It's not on. F-Path, yes. Same. Yeah, the financial statements, Mr. Chair. The financial statements are not consolidated though. The management letter for 2021 and 2020 and 2021 were consolidated. But the one for 2018, financial statement, you have to do them year on year, 18, 19, 20, and 2021. Because, yes, 18, good. So we're beginning with the balance sheet for 2018. They should have it because we have already shown it. No, I'll just summarize. Okay, there are copies here. Yes. Yes, that's it. Yes. Since you are asking us to summarize, I will just go through it in a yeah. Yeah.
Page
Page 8. That's
8.
where the financial statement.
Okay.
Total non-current assets for 2018 were 2.1 million. Current assets were 1,093,000. That is the asset size, giving a total asset of $3.2 million. 3.239633. So accumulated funds and liabilities. The accumulated fund was 2.8. I'm just trying to give you the total because it's like you're asking us to summarize.
That's okay. That's
yes.
right. We are following.
Accumulated funds were 2.8 million, and then total liabilities for 2018 were 378,000, giving a total accumulated funds and liability of 3.2 million. So that's the balance sheet. Or you want me to do analysis with 2017 and then 18? Or I can
you can do so.
Summarize. Because 2017 comparative figures are there. You can see that assets have reduced from 4.7 million to 3.2 million. Because that's as they told you earlier, the care person and the executive secretary, due to funding issues, you can see that most of we are not increasing our assets that much because even our vehicles most of them are not in good shape. But because of funding issues, we are not able to buy new vehicles and other things. So you can see that depreciation is now reducing the assets, total asset value. New assets are not coming in and the current ones, they have been depreciated. Our liability mainly are payables. The payables are not done, and we're also having an overdraft of 500,000. That is an approved line with a commercial bank, trust bank. But that overdraft in 2018, it was in 2007, what we used from the overdraft was 84,000. But in 2018, we used up to 305,000 from the overdraft, still highlighting the funding issues we are having at the commission. We may go to page 9, the comprehensive income statement. The total subvention received in 2017 was 12 million. And in 2018, we received 13 million and 18,000. So, and they were spent as follows: wages and salary, 7.1 million. General admin expenses, 6.1. Depreciation charges, 1.4. Giving a total expenditure of 14.7. So in 2018, we closed with a deficit of 1.6 million. This is largely due to the overdraft and depreciation charges that were okay. We may go to changes in equity. Page 10. The total accumulated fund we opened with in January 2018 was 1.7 million. During the year, we received a funding of 3.5 from the Ministry of Finance to buy specific assets, that's motor vehicles. So if you reduce that year, this is 2017. Balance it. Okay. The one is suggesting that I should just do the balance sheets. Can I go through all of them one by one?
Yes.
I should continue.
Yeah, we continue, yeah.
Okay, then that's fine. So the deficit for the previous year, that is 27, was 789 million, giving us an opening equity accumulated fund of $4.5 million. So if you remove the deficit for 2018 from that, we close with an accumulated fund of 2.8 million. That is accumulated fund, that is in other words, shareholders fund. Cash flow statement, page 11. We are starting with operating activities. In 2018, we closed with a deficit of 8.6 million. That was an opening balance different from the previous year, which we adjusted here. Then we adjusted it for non-cash items. Depreciation is only non-cash item in our book. 1.6. That is deficit for the year, for 2018. I said 8.6, yeah. Okay, that's it. Giving us an operating net cash from operating activity of minus 239,000. So if you do the movement between the changes in receivables and payables, the changes in receivable was 85,000 and changes in payable was 27,000. So net cash from operation profit was minus 351,000. So our investment in 2018 on non-current assets, property planning, was only $154,000. Then if you account for all this, we close the year with a decrease in cash of minus $505,000. In 2017, we closed with a positive balance of 653. Or in 2021, because that was a minus net cash, we closed the year with a net cash balance of $148,000. So these are the plans for 2018. Statement of financial position, changes in equity, income statement, and then cash flow. We will skip the management level, but the management is also attached. If you go to the other section, because it's in 3 sections, page 8 on the other section as well. There are dividers between them.
Yes, sir.
That's where the financial statement for the statement of financial position for 2019 is. In 2019, total non-current assets were.
That's also page 8 for the second part.
Yes.
Okay, take note.
Total non-current assets were $1.1 million. Current asset, total current assets were again 1.1 million, giving us a total asset of $2.3 million. Total accumulated funds and liabilities. Total accumulated funds were $2 million, $2,000,008, and then total liabilities were $323,000, and giving us a total accumulated funds and liability of $2.3 million. So if you again check it from between 28 and 29, our assets keep going down, total assets. It's like we are depreciating them without adding new ones. Probably due to funding issues, if you look at them through. Page 9, statement of comprehensive income. In 2019, the total subvention we received was $14,228,644. We receive other incomes. These other incomes are mainly filing fees we receive from consumer protection cases. So the total expenditure, we spent $7.5 million, $7,506,558 on wages and other employee benefits. General administrative expenses were $6.389, and depreciation charge was $1.1. So giving us again a total expenditure of 15 million. I said expenditures were more than what we received. And then we closed with a deficit of 852,650 for 2019. Statement of changes in equity. In 2018, we closed with 2.8, which is the opening balance for 2019. 2019, if you reduce the deficit for 2019, 852,000 from that, 2019, we closed with accumulated funds of $2,008,172. Statement of cash flow, page 11. Again, in 2019, we closed from the operating activities, we closed with a deficit of 852,650. If you adjust that with non-cash items, plus changes in receivable and payable, cash flow from operating activity was 136,677. In 2019 again, the total amount spent on non-current assets, property, plant, and equipment was only $174,000, given the constraints. There was no financial activity that day, so which led to a net decrease in cash of 37,373,000. You add the opening balance, the amount we opened with for the previous year, we are having a net cash at the end of the year of 110,699. Those are the ones for 2019. 2020 is in a separate one. Okay. Observation. Okay. No, usually, okay.
I just wanted to ask, because in 2019,
Yes.
financial activity support from Ministry of Finance, it says nil.
Yeah.
2018 as well as 2019. Is it mandatory for them to support, or is it at their own will to just support the commission?
Okay. The amounts we are trading are usually, there will be an approved amount for us in the budget, and they will be allocating that to us on a monthly basis. But if we believe the allocations we receive are not enough for a project, and there is a specific project we have or specific item we want to purchase, we will do a request to them for them to support us in that endeavor. Usually those are the ones going as support from them. That's outside the subvention.
I mean, it's mistake to say that it's nil here.
What I mean is, like, the ones for that year, all the support we receive come as subvention. That is what we mean. You can see, you will see that the amount they are allocating to us on a monthly basis are the ones treated as subvention. But if they have given us it,
it is mandatory for the subvention to come. So then there shouldn't be.
This other one is not mandatory. It will depend on the resource envelope. We will send a request to them, depending on their resource envelope. If they feel they can honor it, then that's why. If there is no more, currently there are requests at them that they could not honor, because we needed vehicles. We sent a request to them, but they were. Yeah.
Since there's no budget line for that, it falls under the subvention, and they are fulfilling their obligation and subvention. I think it will be misleading to say support from the ministry, because otherwise it will not look good. I don't think it should be reflected in the report, because it has no relevance then.
Okay. 7.
70.
70.
This 3.9 was given to them specifically to purchase 2 vehicles. The 3.9, it was given to them specifically to purchase 2 vehicles. Yes. Sure, it comes, yes, comes from the Ministry of Finance through them. Yes. No, the monthly allocations will be made from the Ministry of Finance. Yes, that one will come. Whether we request, we don't request for that. It's not fixed. It depends on the resource envelope. Anyway, it depends on how much GRA collect. Yes, but generally it's more or less the same. Yes.
So meaning the monthly allocation is based on subvention
Yes.
that they normally give you on monthly basis.
So that one we don't need to request for that. That one will come.
Okay.
The monthly allocation is the subvention. And I think I understand what she said. But going by the fact that we receive less than 70%, so for every 10, we receive 70. So there's always a shortfall in the subvention we receive. And that necessitates for us sometimes to write this request to the Ministry of Finance. And that's what she's referring to as NEO. So I totally understand what she's saying. Just to put it in context.
Yeah, that's it. There is in why this was not treated as part of the subvention, because when it came, the treatment given to it was because it was specifically to buy these assets. It was added to equity. It's like their contribution. What the amount they used it was posted in the equity line, the opening equity line. So it was treated as an equity, like they are contributing further funds to the institution. Yes.
I would suggest the honorable member have a very valid point, but we can note it now. This is an issue of classification.
Sure.
And since we are at the presentation level, during the consideration, at that point we can also ask for the professional advice of the auditor. But she have a very valid point,
That's it.
you know, which we really need to probe into and find a headway.
Sure.
But as at now, we can note it and bring it down during the consideration stage.
That's fine.
And we look at how classification can be dealt with better.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's okay. Yes. Yes. 2020. Yeah, it's a separate one. Again, financial statements are again on page. Statement of financial position is again on page 8. Page 8. Non-current assets were 1,960,544. Current assets, total current assets were 3,076,000, giving us total asset of 5,037,000. This time around, assets has increased significantly from 2.3 to 5 million, mainly due to receivables. Accumulated fund was 4.4 million. That's accumulated funds and liabilities, and total liabilities were 590, giving us a total of $5,037,000. Income statement.
Page 9, huh?
Page 9, yeah.
Yeah.
Income statement. Total government subvention, total subvention received was 14,447,962. So I didn't have the approved budget for 2018 and 19, but this was against an approved amount of 17,231,399 in the budget. So 17 was approved, and then we received 14 million. Other incomes were 26,142. Expenditures, wages and salaries. Wages, salaries, and other employment benefits were 7,821,662. General and admin expenses 4,032,968. Depreciation charges account for 1.6, giving us total expenditure of 13,479. In 2020, we closed the year with a surplus of 994,499. Statement of changes in equity. In 2019, we closed with a total accumulated fund of 2,008,172. That's page 10. Surplus for the year for 2020 was 994,449. That was a prior year adjustment of 1.4 million, which takes the total accumulated fund we closed with to 4,447,121. Statement of cash flow. Operating activities. For 2020, we closed the year with a surplus of 994,000. If you add back non-cash item depreciation and then the movement in payable and receivables, it gives us net operating activity net cash generated from operating activities of 2,832,668. In 2020, total amount spent on assets were 2.3 million, 2396521. Again, the support from ministry was nil. As it is said. So this gives us a net decrease in cash and cash equivalent. This is a increase of 436,147. If you add what we close the year with, the cash at the end of the year was 546,816. That is for 2020. Those are the ones for 2020. 2021 is a separate book. I don't know if you have the right.
That's 2021.
Again on page 8. That's where the statement of financial position is.
We proceed.
Non-current assets were 1.4 million, 1,431,086. Current asset, total current assets were 3,848,326, giving us total asset of 5,279,412. Accumulated fund and liabilities. Accumulated fund was 4,725,085. Payables were 554,329, and giving us a total balance sheet size of 5,279,412. Statement of comprehensive income. Government subvention received for 2021 was 13,586,871 against a budget of 16,831. Other incomes for that year was 208,615. Total expenditure, amount spent on wages, salaries, and other employment benefits were 8,079,768. General admin expenses was 4,723,223. Depreciation charge was 714. In 2021, we closed the year with a surplus of 277,964. Page 10, statement of changes in equity or accumulated fund. We opened the year with an opening accumulated fund of 4,447,121. If you add the surplus for the year of 277,964 to that, the total accumulated fund we closed the year with in 2021 was $4,725,085. Page 11, statement of cash flow. The surplus for the year in 2021 was 277,964. If you add non-cash item adjustments, that's depreciation in this case, plus the movements in receivables and payables. Net cash generated from operating activity was 517,978. Investment purchase of property plant activities, investment activity, we spent 185,000 on property plants and equipment. If you net things up, it gives us a net cash of 332,903. If you add the opening one to that, we close the year with 879,719. Those are the ones for 2021.
Okay. Thank you for the presentation. The Namibian leaders for the external auditor. Can you understand? Cool. No. Yeah, this one. That's for 2018. There's another one that was separate. 2020. So two are here. Okay, you may proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Just a proposition, since it's a 4-year financial statements and all the opinions are the same, can I issue a consolidated opinion? Okay. Auditor's opinion. We have audited the accompanying financial statements of the Gambia Competition and Consumer Protection Commission.
Sorry, can you take us the
page 5, please?
5?
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
You may proceed.
Auditor's opinion. We have audited the accompanying financial statements of the Gambia Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, the GCCPC, which comprises the statement of financial position, the statement of comprehensive income, the statement of changes in accumulated fund, the cash flow statement for the year then ended, and notes to the financial statements, including accounting policies applicable to the Commission. In our opinion, the financial statements give a true and fair view of the financial position of the Commission as of 31st of December 2018, 19, 2020, and 2021, and of its financial performance and its cash flows for the year then ended, and has been prepared in line with the generally accepted accounting principles and in accordance with the requirements of the Essential Commodity Act 2015, Consumer Protection Act 2014, and Competition Act 2007, signed Augustus Prom, registered auditors. Okay. So, Honorable Chair, secondly, the management letter is a 4-year period. Okay. So, do we focus on the most recent one, since that one has the implementation status of previous findings?
Yeah, that's okay.
If I ask for your permission, can I just do a summary of it?
Which page?
Page 5 of the management letter report, 2020 and 2021.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. Just a summary, or should we go through?
Mm-hmm. We proceed.
Okay. Hmm? Just the observation or the implication and recommendation?
Okay.
Observation.
Observation, yeah, and recommendation as well.
Okay. Page 5, first point, human resource management, observation. The following was noted during our review on the human resource aspect of the project. A, statutory deductions, PAYE and NPF. During our audit, it has come to our attention that the income tax and social security payments were done late throughout 2020. In 2021, we noted late payments from January to June 2021 as listed below. Page 6, B, probation period for new recruits. Section 0207 of the approved service rule states that all employees shall be initially be for a probation period of 6 months. The head of department shall, within 2 weeks before the expiry of the probation, submit a report to the executive secretary on the employee's performance and suitability for the permanent employment. Upon our review on the process for new starters, we noted starters completed probation periods with no assessment before confirming full employment. C. Staff appraisals. Section 012 states that the Commission shall appraise the performance of staff at the end of the year. Upon our review over the 2-year period, we only noted one appraisal, which was for Musa Tarawale. D. Monitoring of staff attendance. During our review on staff attendance of the Commission, we noted staff are not signing out throughout 2021 and 2022 during the close of work, which defeats the purpose of maintaining such a monitoring mechanism. E. Allowance review. During the audit review, we noted the following allowances were applied to the payroll but not included in the service rule as follows: professional allowance, responsibility allowance, and transportation allowance. Page 8, recommendation. Management should ensure that all statutory payments are paid on time to be in line with the Income Tax Act and SSHFC regulations to ensure that penalties and fines are not imposed on the Commission. Management should look into the probation confirmation process to ensure there is compliance with Section 0207. Staff appraisal should be conducted on an annual basis and documents to be in compliance with Section 0212 of the Service Rule Book and recommended human resource practice. Staff should fill in the attendance logbook at the end of the workday to ensure the purpose of utilizing a log is achieved to further assist management with the monitoring of staff attendance. The NPF 7B form should be filled and submitted to the pension authorities to ensure there is full compliance with the documentation requirements of employees under the NPF. Page 9.2. Property, plant and equipment, allocated land, observation. On the 12th of July 2012, a letter was written to the Gambia Competition and Consumer Protection from the Ministry of Lands stating the approval of a land at Kanifing for the organization. Upon our review on the conditions, it states that the allocated land will elapse if the land remains underdeveloped for more than 24 months after the date of the letter. Upon discussions with management, it was confirmed that the site is underdeveloped, which indicates lack of compliance to the allocation from the Department of Lands and Surveys. Recommendation: management should look into developing the land allocated to be in compliance with the offer letter from the Ministry of Lands. Page 10.3, medical expenses, observation. During the period under review, a review was conducted on the medical expenses incurred by the Commission, and the following was noted. A. Medical scheme, biological children. As per the medical policy, Section 1002 states that the spouse and 3 biological children not beyond the age of 21 of an employee registered under the medical scheme may receive treatment by the terms and conditions therein. Upon our review on personal files, we noted birth certificates to confirm that the dependents are biological children were not in the personal file of employees. B. Return of medical cards. We noted the following staff leavers for the period under review in which we were not provided with the medical cards upon leaving, 2020 and 2021, as listed below. Recommendation, page 11. Management should ensure that birth certificates are obtained for all staff to ensure all dependents using the medical scheme are biological children of employees to be in compliance with the medical scheme policy. Staff are to hand over all medical cards during the exiting of the Commission to minimize the risk of staff using the scheme when no longer entitled to. Point 4, page 12, year-end cash balances, observation. During our review on the cash and cash equivalent aspect, we noticed that cash certificates as of the 31st of December 2020 and 31st of December 2021, respectively, were not provided for our review as listed below. Recommendation. We recommend that management should ensure year-end cash counts are conducted and certificates issued and signed by a witness, which is acting as a supporting document to confirm that the reported cash in the financial statements actually existed at the reporting date. Page 13, grants from UNDP capital grant, observation. During the period under review, we noted capital items were supplied to the Commission by the UNDP through the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Employment. As required by the recommended accounting standards, such assets meet the recognition criteria of a capital grant and to be recognized in the financial statements. Upon our review on the financial statements, we noted that assets are not recognized in the financial statements as listed below. Recommendation. Management should ensure assets in use by the Commission that meet the criteria of a capital grant should be disclosed in line with the recommended accounting standards on capital grant. Page 14.6, ex-staff loan observation. In 2020, we noted an amount of $43,011 due to the Commission in relation to an ex-staff loan of employee stated. We noted her last deduction was in April 2020, and the last correspondence seen was in June 2020, in which the Commission is claiming the amount outstanding. As of August 2022, during the time of the audit, we noted there was no evidence of the ex-staff willing to pay, which makes us question the recoverability of the said amount. Recommendation: management should ensure the assets. I think there's a typography error there, but we recommend that management should follow up on these ex-staff loans. Page 15 to page 20 is findings from previous periods and the implementation statuses as highlighted in the table. Thank you.
That ended the presentations of the activity reports and then the financial statements from 2018 to 2021. At this point, already in our calendar, it is indicated, I think, next week, Monday, you should appear for the consideration. Our subject matter specialists will go through the various presentations, and then the questions honorable members will try to ask questions for necessary clarifications that may lead to the consideration of the said reports for onward presentation to the plenary and for the final adoption by the plenary. Whatever is adopted at the plenary would be an action point for the National Assembly if there are concerns that are embedded in the reports from the FPAC. On that, as I said earlier on, we must commend you for the diligent work that you have done to have your reports completed from 2018 or 2016, let me put it, up to 2021. We are looking forward to 2020. If you've gone beyond 2020, you need to be commended. It is constitutional requirement that institutions should have their report completed 3 months after the end of the year. I want to believe by now you should be working on your, or not necessary, but you should try to be working towards meeting that requirement by 31st July 2022. You are now working towards to getting the report of 2022 being finalized. Certainly by March 2023. It's a right step in the right direction. I believe if all institutions are like you, our work as a National Assembly will be very easy. And then transparency and accountability will be realized in our institutions. Madam Chairperson, I thank you with your team. Thank you. On that note, the meeting will, if you have anything to say before. Yeah, the various documents that you said that you will be more than happy to provide to the committee. The committee will equally be more than happy to receive from you. Yes. Soft or hard, yeah. Yeah, both, yeah. Yeah. Yes. We'll be more than happy to receive them. Yeah, you can do both. But what is quicker for now, soft copy. Then maybe by Monday you can bring the hard copies as well. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm? Hmm?